Further, whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Governments Act, and Standing Order 80 of the Senate had the County Assembly on the grounds for removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the Governor of Meru County. And further, whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Governments Act, and Standing Order number 80 of the Senate, the Senate also had the Honorable Kawira Mwangaza on the grounds for her proposed removal from office by impeachment as the Governor of Meru County. Now, therefore, pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Governments Act, and the Standing Order 80, the Senate resolves to remove from office by impeachment the Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the Governor of Meru County, on the following charges. Charge 1, misappropriation and misuse of county resources. Charge number 2, nepotism and related unethical practices. Charge number 3, bullying, vilification and demeaning other leaders. Charge number 4, illegal appointments and usurpation of statutory powers. Charge number 5, contempt of court. Charge number 6, illegally naming a public road after her husband. And charge number 7, contempt of the County Assembly.
Mr. Speaker, I will try to say a lot of things in 3 minutes. First of all, Mr. Speaker, I want to go on record on this impeachment motion that it is clear to this House, to this country, and to the world that the relationships between the Governor of Meru and the members of the County Assembly of Meru is almost irreparably broken down. The Speaker, in the words of one of the lawyers, there is a state of madness in Meru. The Speaker, the parties before the Senate to process this impeachment motion have come to us seeking justice. And that is what they must expect. Justice for the parties and justice for the people of Meru. The Speaker, this Senate must decline the invitation by any party to take sides and move in a direction for whatever reason. This Senate, the Speaker, was available to the parties. They had an opportunity to approach the Senate Standing Committee on Devolution to settle their issues. They passed that opportunity. Both parties, the Speaker, have treated this House and these members and the millions of Kenyans that we represent to a charade of accusations and counter-accusations, all aimed at self-preservation and serving certain political interests. The Speaker, I'll just give 2 examples. The County Assembly of Meru has come to this House with allegations of relatives of the Governor being used to embezzle county funds. When that matter was put to test, the evidence on record by the County Assembly is that 1, it is in the public domain that these are relatives of the Governor. And secondly, the Speaker, they said that we have seen them take photos. And from those photos, there's a display of public affection. How are we in Kitui supposed to make a decision on the relationship between the Governor and our sisters on account of a photo that I don't even know where it has come from? The Assembly failed a basic test to just draw a family tree and show us the relationships. The Governor herself, Mr. Speaker.
Your time is up, Senator Boni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order, honorable senators. Senator Boni, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, so much. Mr. Speaker, the violence, the inability for leaders to work together in Meru is not new. What is new will be how we shall manage it. It happened in Makueni. Professor Kibuda Kibwana was treated in exactly the same way that Governor Kawira Mwangaza is being treated. And he ended up being the best performing governor in the Republic of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, the only thing we got from the impeachment of Nairobi was to be settled with a debt of 250 million shillings for the Greenback terminal that has never been used, that will never be used. Impeaching governors is not always the best solution. Mr. Speaker, sir, Kiambu, the second richest county in this republic, lost 5 years because this Senate was in a hurry to respond to political feelings outside the Senate, and they brought problems in Kiambu for 5 years. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal to lawyers of the Republic of Kenya. When you are a lawyer, it doesn't mean you are everything. I have listened to the presentation of Dr. Tiangulu, my own friend, about the evidence of IFMIS. I'm shocked. Completely, Mr. Speaker, and as the longest serving chairman of public accounts in the Republic of Kenya, I can confirm that I know IFMIS. Mr. Speaker, if you indulge me, no IFMIS report comes out with one transaction. Interest, up to the end. No. IFMIS report, Mr. Speaker, comes out with what was spent on interest and what was spent on other expenses. And Mr. Speaker, everything that comes out on IFMIS does not turn out to be genuine. There is something at the end of IFMIS, Mr. Speaker, where the IFMIS report rejects. Mr. Speaker, if we go by that report without subjecting this to an audit report.
Your time is up. Your time is up, Senator Boni. You're off record. You're off record. Senator Kavindu. Order. Order, members. Order, members. Order, member. Order, Senator Boni. Order. Senator Boni, kindly take your seat. Order. Order, honorable senators. Order. Senator Ledama.
Mr. Speaker, I speak here today as a father of two lovely daughters whom I'd like to see grow, become leaders like the way God has blessed me. What I witnessed today, Mr. Speaker, is something which negates that dreams if we do not stand and to be counted. What I've witnessed today, Mr. Speaker, is this Senate being reduced into being an internal audit. Mr. Speaker, the lawyers presented something which negates the Public Audit Act, Section 31, which is quite clear on the process of audit. Mr. Speaker, sir, Article 228, Section 5 is very clear. It says the controller of budget shall not authorize any withdrawal of funds from the county revenue fund unless she's satisfied that that withdrawal is authorized by law. Mr. Speaker, sir, we've been entertained by a charade of just nuendos. There was nothing that you can be able to prove. I am a member, I'm a ranking member of the Senate Public Accounts Committee, and I know the process. I know what IFMIS is. I know the PFM Act, Section 103, establishes a county treasury, and he puts in the treasurer or the CMC as the head of that fund. Mr. Speaker, sir, I sat down here, and to be honest with you, when I watched those videos, something came to my mind. And I said, you know what? That conference of 1885 in Berlin conference was ill-advised. The British should have just left us with our uncouth and civilized behaviors. To see a honorable member, someone who calls himself a honorable member, walking across the streets of our civilized nation, what we call civilized, and saying that certain weapons or certain tools should be used to be able to punish a woman. It's uncouth and uncivilized, and shame on them. Mr. Speaker, sir, I have gone through the 7 allegations, and none of them, Mr. Speaker, sir, has been substantiated. We are being introduced, we are being invited, Mr. Speaker, sir, to get into a conflict of manhood and womanhood. Mr. Speaker, sir, I second the sentiments of the majority leader when he said that it's about time that if these leaders of Meru cannot get their act together, we might as well call a commission of inquiry to suspend that county. It is ridiculous, Mr. Speaker, sir, and we cannot allow this Senate to be reduced to that. Mr. Speaker, sir, we should know better.
Can Senator Kajwang be heard in silence? Senator Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, I first want to congratulate the County Assembly of Meru. They have done their constitutional mandate. And if this parliament did half of what the County Assembly of Meru has done over the last 1 year, Mr. Speaker, the cost of living would be much lower. And some people will not be living in the houses they are living up on hills. I want to congratulate the County Assembly of Meru that whatever the outcome of today, they should not go home feeling that they did the wrong thing. They undertook their constitutional mandate. Mr. Speaker, today we are damned if we do, we are damned if we don't. Let me make it clear. The misogyny that has been demonstrated in some of the videos, the chauvinism, the incitement to tribal hatred has no place in a modern Kenya. And Mr. Speaker, those are things that we should not be massaging. Those are criminal actions. Gender-based violence is such a grave criminal action that if I had an option to ask the governor a question, I would have asked whether she reported those matters to the police, because impunity breeds in silence. Mr. Speaker, from the submissions, it appears as if everybody in Meru is mad. We are in a season of madness in Meru. And that, Mr. Speaker, the only sane person in Meru today is the governor and the spouse. That is what has come out of the submissions. But, Mr. Speaker, could that be true? That all the great men and women of Meru, including the Deputy Speaker of this House, are mad, are in a season of madness, and the only lucid person can be the governor? Mr. Speaker, that presupposes and that indicates there's a big, big problem that an impeachment cannot solve. Mr. Speaker, we have a patient with 2 damaged kidneys. We take out 1 kidney, the patient will not survive. You take out the governor, you leave the assembly, you still have a problem. You reinstate the kidney, which is the governor, you still have a problem. Mr. Speaker, Article 192 says that where a county government has irretrievably broken down, that county should be suspended, that county should be sent to a fresh election. And Mr. Speaker, even though we do not have the original jurisdiction on that, I want to encourage the citizens of Meru to call for a suspension of the county government, to send Governor Kawira Mwangaza back to the people, and to send the MCS back to the people. We have been told a lot of stories about who is popular and who is not popular. But finally, Mr. Speaker, let us not forget that in 2010, this nation discharged Nancy Baraza of a role as a Deputy Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Kenya on very spurious allegations. But that has set a precedent that has been part of our jurisprudence. If we were to go with that threshold, then Governor Kawira Mwangaza should go home.
Senator Mogeni.
Mr. Speaker, if there is an image that had stuck with me ever since this impeachment trial started, it is the image I saw of some acts against the governor of Meru. Mr. Speaker, I can be rough in politics. Mr. Speaker, I can make mistakes in politics, but I will never, and I've never descended to the level I saw in the videos that were displayed before this House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, however much you hate a human being, Mr. Speaker, if you are a Christian or you believe in the Almighty God, Mr. Speaker, there are some utterances you cannot make against some other human beings when you are a leader, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, despite the things, the wrongdoings we have seen against the governor of Meru, Mr. Speaker, we must ask ourselves, Mr. Speaker, when history is written, Mr. Speaker, and we are the 47 of us who sat here, Mr. Speaker, how did our conscience respond to the videos that were played before us, Mr. Speaker? How will the people of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, judge us? Because it is not just the governor who is on trial, Mr. Speaker. It is the Senate of the Republic of Kenya that is on trial tonight, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, I want to state at 11:45, Mr. Speaker, without fear of any contradiction, that the vote I have tonight, Mr. Speaker, the one delegation from Nyamira, Mr. Speaker, I owe my vote, Mr. Speaker, to the great women of this country called Kenya, Mr. Speaker. I owe my vote, Mr. Speaker, to the women who have faith in me from the county of Nyamira, Mr. Speaker. I owe my vote, Mr. Speaker, to the great woman who raised me, Mama Nyamokami. And, Mr. Speaker, I want to give confidence tonight to the woman who will receive me when I go home, my wife Jacqueline, that I have respect for the women of this republic, Mr. Speaker. And when I cast my vote, Mr. Speaker, is to give assurance to my two lovely daughters, Nyamokami and Aliero, that we must treat the women of Kenya with honor and respect, Mr. Speaker. That is the vote that I carry, Mr. Speaker, tonight. I rest my case, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, because of the short time, I want to start by saying that from the onset, this Senate agreed that we are going to listen to this case, the merits and demerits of the case, and make a decision. Mr. Speaker, I've spent hours here, sitting here, listening to the presentation from the two parties. And I want to say that I was shocked, Mr. Speaker, as an IT expert in my other life, that the county assembly presented to this house an extract from IFMIS. An extract from IFMIS.
Order, honorable senators. May the senator be heard in silence.
An alleged extract from IFMIS that is not verified. Mr. Speaker, this house has passed a law called the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act 2018. And I participated in processing this bill. Under Section 14, subsection 2, it is very clear that any data from a computer system, especially a computer system that is categorized under Section 9 of the same Act as a critical information infrastructure, that access must be based on a consent. Mr. Speaker, we have been presented with an extract from IFMIS which has no consent. Yes, they made an attempt to get a consent, but there are other offices which could have provided the consent, like the Controller of Budget Office, the Treasury, and even the IFMIS Directorate itself. They never made that effort. Mr. Speaker, this particular extract was provided by an anonymous person called Salasio. This man has not been brought to this house to testify. This man is not known whether this money exists or not. The house cannot, a house of parliament is a house of record. We cannot be made to sit here for hours listening to submission based on a document that is not verified, a document that is unlawful. Mr. Speaker, this house has to be respected. In addition to that, Mr. Speaker, there were some submissions given as evidence of WhatsApp. And this matter was questioned by Senator Gloria. And the Council on the other side brushed over the issue. But if you go to another law that was passed by this House called the Data Protection Act, Section 26 of that act talks about the data subject rights.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members,
Order, senators. Let us hear the governor in silence.
Honorable Speaker and honorable senators of this House, I want to take this opportunity to really thank you for your time. I know it has not been easy for you. God bless you for your time. Honorable Speaker, I'm here today pleading with this House. And I want to say it in Kiswahili. Mateso ni mengi, lakini Mungu tusaidia. If I have wronged any person in this House, in Meru, in Kenya, I pray for forgiveness. As a mother, a leader, it is my duty to unite Meru people. And I pray for more grace, that God will give me power to bring all the leaders together. I pray unto our Father to give me more energy, to give me more grace. Na Mungu anipe kuvumilia kwingi to see Meru people happy. The members of parliament, our dear deputy senator of this House, the MCAs, deputy speaker, if I've wronged any one of you, forgive me. Honorable Speaker, I was elected as an independent governor. I know I need MCAs. I've tried my best, and I shall still continue trying my best to see that I work with everyone. Honorable Speaker and this Honorable House, no one is an angel. I'm not an angel. Each and every one of us has his or her own weaknesses. It is my prayer to God that the weaknesses that they might have, God will help me, so that we work together as a team and make Meru people happy. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of this House, I take this opportunity again to say thank you, and I pray that you give me a second chance. God bless you.
Senator Siango, take your seat. Honorable Senators, the results of the division are as follows. Charge number 1, misappropriation and misuse of county resources. Ayes 19, nays 28. The nays have it. Charge number 2, nepotism and related unethical practices. Ayes 5, nays 42, abstain 0. The nays have it. Charge number 3, bullying, vilification and demeaning other leaders. Ayes 3, nays 44, abstain 0. The nays have it. Charge number 4, illegal appointments and usurpation of statutory powers. The ayes 20 votes, nays 27 votes, abstain 0 vote. The nays have it. Charge number 5, contempt of court. The ayes 3 votes, the nays 44 votes, abstain 0. So the nays have it. Charge number 6, illegally naming a public road after her husband. Ayes 4 votes, the nays 43 votes, abstain 0. So the nays have it. Charge number 7, contempt of the Assembly. Ayes 10 votes, nays 37 votes, abstain 0. So the nays have it. Now, Honorable Senators, Section 33(7) of the County Governments Act, abstain 0. The nays have it. Charge number 3, bullying, vilification and demeaning other leaders. Ayes 3, nays 44, abstain 0. The nays have it. Charge number 4, illegal appointments and usurpation of statutory powers. The ayes 20 votes, nays 27 votes, abstain 0 vote. The nays have it. Charge number 5, contempt of court. The ayes 3 votes, the nays 44 votes, abstain 0. So the nays have it. Charge number 6, illegally naming a public road after her husband. Ayes 4 votes, the nays 43 votes, abstain 0. So the nays have it. Charge number 7, contempt of the Assembly. Ayes 10 votes, nays 37 votes, abstain 0. So the nays have it. Now, Honorable Senators, Section 33(7) of the County Governments Act provide as follows. If a majority of all members of the Senate vote to uphold any impeachment charge, the governor shall cease to hold office. Honorable Senators, the result of the division indicate that the Senate has not upheld any of the impeachment charges. Pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33(8) of the County Governments Act, and Standing Order 87 of the Senate Standing Orders, the Senate has failed to remove from office by impeachment Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the Governor of Meru County. And the Governor accordingly continues to hold office.